me pressing the start button. Good morning, students. Well, talked a lot about WH questions on Monday and Tuesday. Talked about the Beetle story, or the Beetle poem, on Wednesday. Today's Thursday, and today we're going to be talking about an animal I had as a pet, but I always had to let it go. I always found them in my backyard, and I wasn't able to keep them because it wasn't safe for them. I didn't know how to take care of them. And yep, you probably already guessed it. It's called a turtle. All right, the little turtle is the next poem we're going to read. It's kind of quite cute. And it's about a turtle who's kind of splashing around a puddle. Turtles are really good climbers, and you're going to see this baby turtle climbing. Let me just tell you that he climbs this rock that's tremendously big, and somehow he tries to get to the top. I'm not going to tell you if he makes it or if he doesn't make it, but in the video it says, I didn't make it, or it says, I made it. And you're not going to believe it. But when you see that, you'll see exactly what happens if you made it or not. But it's about the crawling that a turtle can do. They got very sharp claws and nails, and they can grab onto stuff. But if it's a rock and it's smooth, it might be able to just slip off. So I'm kind of looking at this turtle. I have two different videos, very short, not humorous or anything, but they're just interesting creatures to watch. And it's kind of cool. So the name of the story is called The Little Turtle. Now this story also has lots and lots of rhyming words, because there's rhymes in this poem. It's called The Little Turtle by Vacal Lindsay. And that is the author of the poem. They wrote the words. There was a little turtle. He lived in a box. He swam in a puddle. He climbed on the rocks. So yes. So turtles kind of bounce around, and you know what? There could be puddles in the street that they, or on the sides of the roads, the puddles that fill up after a long rain. And that's fresh water for a turtle. So he's getting something he needs from that. He also might see some insects crawling around, or a fish. Turtles can eat the little minnows and things like that. Turtles can also eat fleas. Fleas are a very pesty thing. It makes animals and people itchy if their dog or cat gets fleas. It's not a good thing. But these turtles help us because the turtles eat fleas, okay? And they eat minnows. And also those... oh my... Ow! Just got bit. What are those things that bite you? The mosquitoes. Yeah, turtles eat mosquitoes. So how awesome is that? If you're ever worried about being outside and swatting the mosquitoes, maybe get a turtle. It'll take care of some of those mosquitoes for you and help you out. You play with him, he eats the bugs so you don't get bit. Anyway, it's kind of an interesting exchange. So there was a little turtle. He lived in a box. He swam in a puddle. He climbed on the rocks. Did you hear any rhymes in that? Turtle, puddle. A little bit, not really. Turtle, box. No rhyme. Box, puddle. Now what I'm doing is I'm not looking at the first word. I'm looking at the last word. Now, I don't want you, we talk so much about sentences. A complete sentence starts with a capital letter, ends with some type of punctuation, a period, a question, or an exclamation point. But these poems are whatever the author wants to do. If he doesn't want to write a complete thought or complete idea. So poetry focuses on just lines and how it looks. There can't be one really long line and then one really short. But if you're an author and you want to do that, you can. The thing is, the rules with the periods and that doesn't play as much of a part in poetry, because it's something that a person just creates. Okay, there was a little turtle, period. He lived in a box, period. So those are sentences. They're full sentences. It says, It describes the turtle. It describes what he lives in. He swam in a puddle. It described where he was swimming. These are complete thoughts. These make sense. He climbed on the rocks. Wait a minute. He lived in a box. He climbed on the, yes, rocks. Those rhyme. So we found some rhyming words. That's good. Let's move on to the second 4 lines. He snapped at a mosquito. He snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow. Fish. He snapped at me. Very important. If you're ever somewhere like a park and you see a turtle, don't even think about putting your finger on his head to pet him, because his head will go inside the shell, okay? And that's the body covering that protects them. They wear their shelter, their home on their back. The turtles have that shell, and then they have scales on their arms and their neck and their legs. But it's just interesting to note that this turtle lived in a box and he climbed on the rocks. Let's move on. He snapped at the mosquito, he snapped at the flea, he snapped at the minnow, and he snapped at me. Well, you might think turtles are very shy and they move very slowly. They're not going to hurt me. But a snapping turtle has a very powerful mouth, and it snaps down on things to crush them and to eat them. So never put your hand in the turtle cage like, oh, he coochie coochie coo. You don't want to do it. Because if the turtle's not friendly and he's not nice, or if it's a kind of turtle you're not supposed to pet, you could be in a whole world of trouble. But they do eat, and it's part of their job, and they eat mosquitoes and the little fish, minnows, and there's also a flea that they love eating. And then the last part of the poem says, he caught the mosquito. He caught the flea. He caught the minnow, but he didn't catch me. Well, that's kind of silly. I guess that the person had taken their hand away or moved away from this turtle. Or maybe it was a mosquito writing this, and the mosquito got away from the other one. I don't know, it's kind of silly. But anyhow, the little turtle, I'm going to read it through one more time. It says, there was a little turtle. He lived in the box. He swam in the puddle. He climbed on the rocks. Box, rocks. He snapped at a mosquito. He snapped at a flea. He snapped at a minnow. He snapped at me. So in that you have flea and me. Then you have he caught the mosquito, he caught the flea, he caught the minnow, but he didn't catch me. Well, mosquito and minnow almost rhyme. They kind of rhyme a little bit. But flea, me, those are two really great rhyming words that go wonderfully together. So, we talked about WH words. In the last couple minutes, I want to talk about what would be 3 key details to the little turtle. Okay? Detail number 1. Where? What did we learn about where the turtle lives? He lives in a... If you said box, you are correct. The next one. What does he do? How does he get to places? The turtle swims. That's what he's doing. In a puddle. And how does he get to the rock? Well, we learned he climbs on the rocks. So he swims in the puddle, climbs on the rocks. Where is he? In a little box. These are key details. Let's do one more key detail because I know you got it in you. When? When does the turtle eat these things? Well, he eats them at the end. It says the turtle snaps at and eats a mosquito, a flea, and a minnow. So he eats all these things. When? At what time? Well, at the end of the story, he ate them. All right, those are key details. Doing a great job. And what is the main idea of this poem? A turtle. Great job, everybody. Have a super day, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about a different type of animal. Talking about a gray goose. See you tomorrow. Great job.